technically the next day, but I figured I'll give you a little run through everything that got done. Got quite a bit done. Some bracket work right here. This is going to be for the fender. This is going to be for an idea I've got later on. If it happens, might happen. But anyways, fenders are mounted. I even started mounting up the headlights. Gonna have to figure out something to mount the grill, bumper. No, hey, do you mind? I'm trying to film here. Don't need your audio background noise. Thank you. So I got the headlights in, sort of mounted kind of deal. Made a little tab. I actually redid this whole firewall piece. The dog's coming back. Look, where's that part? All right, check this out. These pieces were actually part of the rad support. They were right here. And I pulled those out because they were actually not, these brackets on opposite side that they were mounted to don't even line up really with the cage assembly and all that kind of stuff. So here you can see it's on the edge of the frame rail. On the edge of the frame rail, these new ones line up much better. Got rid of these, which took a lot of pressure out of it and stuff, but now it's only mounted on by there and right there. These pieces were, it was already at the perfect height, which was cool. Both sides are actually identical height. I'm really proud of that and happy with that. These tabs, I just made a tab to bolt on the fender there after grinding off all the bunch of stuff that was, there was a big piece here. I took all that out to give myself some clearance and make it more precise. So I was able to drop that in there. Same thing on the other side. Now this stuff is kind of sloppy, but it's there kind of just holding everything up right now. You good? Getting these to mount on was actually kind of tricky. Oh, can't see nothing. Right. I'm saying the headlights where they mounted on, I had to make a tab right there, which is obviously just temporary. And these, there's a plastic bit coming out, so, or aluminum or something, real light, easy to break. But I threaded that one, was able to put a nut on it with a washer, and that made it actually pretty solid. This one I broke off, unfortunately. But the opposite side, both of those were broken off, but I was able to drill into it and tap it. I actually did the same thing up here too. There was that, where that bracket's mounted, there was a bolting point. I still have the bolting point on the opposite side, as you can see here. But it's a totally different light, totally different bracket, bolt and everything. This one's a lot smaller, so the other side I had to drill and tap that one too, but it worked. I might take this one out for good measure. Now the rad support, there's still a bunch of work to do. The rad's not sitting level right now because that tab seems to be interfering with the brackets I made. But I have to make a top piece that's going to lock it down, and I don't want it to be on the actual rad support or fender support. I want it to be independent so that I could run this thing without the front fenders on it. That would be kind of like a, it's going to be kind of cool thing to do, I guess, make it look like buggy style. So that's why the rad's not sitting straight. That pipe that's on the bottom is actually not exactly straight either, but the reason for that is the bends aren't exactly the same. And it was an old piece that I pulled out of the stockpile, and it just worked for what I needed it for. Unfortunately, it's not so hot, but that'll have to do. These plates right here, these big ugly heavy duty plates, that's going to be so I can mount a hood pin or maybe a hinge for the hood, which is going to be kind of tricky. But I was thinking 4 pins, race car style. The problem with that is the hood is massive. Look at that thing. Like it's almost as tall as me. So I'm 6'2", and so I'm 6'2", and I'm standing. This is the hood behind me. So that's like, it's up to my ears. Anyway, because it's so big and bulky, it is going to be a little tricky to get it on there. So those pieces right there and right there, those big ass brackets, those are potentially going to be for like a hinge or probably maybe just a hood pin. If I can actually lighten that hood up a bit. I have an old Cal induction hood scoop off a drag car that I'm going to chop up, and it's mostly fiberglass, so I'm going to lose a lot of weight from that hood. I'm going to cut the frame out of it and everything. So that should make things a lot more lightweight and easier to throw around by myself should I have to be, and then I can get creative and make some hood vents which double as handles. Looking back inside what we did yesterday, well, I made these brackets right here. Now it's bolted, 2 bolts here and 1 bolt on the opposite side. The piece is welded around it. The angle iron is welded to the chassis, and the idea was to make a really strong mount because I was going to actually put the hood pins in there for the front, but that puts them in a really weird position on the hood, and it leaves like this much with no latching, no protection, which kind could potentially suck as well. So those for now are on, like, maybe I'll use them later. One on each side, stacked up. And then these here, I gotta head out and get to the store, but these brackets, I'm gonna put some solid small tubing, small bar from here down to here, and hopefully that's gonna be a significant fender mount. I got one on each side here. These were gonna be, at first I thought I would use it for a fender mount as well, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be probably, maybe once we start playing with exhaust and or accessories and stuff like that, maybe catch cans can bolt to it, various things. Got one on this side too, same with the body mounts, same deal. There's that real heavy duty one I made. And then down here, same thing. I didn't really weld them in too much yet because I ran out of gas, or ran out of wire yesterday. There's some brackets down here, and that's gonna be for mounting some sort of side pipe deal, because I think I'm gonna run side pipes down the car. There's not a whole lot of room underneath it to be able to run exhaust and stuff like that, so I think side pipes are gonna be my best option. I'm going for the front mount rad, so that should eliminate having to run hoses for water and stuff to the back. Now the problem with this is when I built it, I built the floors and everything to be flat, flush on the ground. That way when it bottoms out, it just hits the metal. But I made the floor panels a little too low, and I can't put anything really underneath them. Example, exhaust. The trans tunnel runs right through the center of the vehicle, and it's actually, the drive shaft is gonna be above the floor because everything sits real low in this thing. So that's not a problem, there's clearance there, but I wouldn't really want to put like fuel lines and stuff inside a trans tunnel where the drive shaft could potentially blow out and start ripping around and cutting all that stuff. So it's gonna be a bit of a challenge there, but I think having the rad in the front is gonna make that a lot easier for now. Fuel lines, we'll have to hide them somewhere safe, maybe on the inside of the frame, up real tight or something. I don't know, we'll figure that out later though. And that's about where we are for now. So stick around, next video. Well, actually right now I'm gonna start filming again. I'm gonna start doing stuff. I gotta run out and help some people first. But I'm gonna get on it, so stick around, subscribe, watch more. By the tranny on all high, by the cam and the youth, listen me.